This is your hustler homie, your platform partner, D Jackson, all about making things happen. Stop trying to be an entrepreneur. And I want to go into this really deep. You know, we're living in an era right now where a lot of people were pushed on along the idea of you should start your own business. There is this big narrative where you should, be a boss and be the CEO. And you know what? For the past 4 or 5 years, I was a big proponent of that, pushing people to say, yeah, you need to be your own boss. And a lot of people are not designed to be entrepreneurs. It's not in their DNA. I mean, it's a skill. It is a certain level of skill. It is a certain level of genetics that you have to have. But you can learn some of it. But even if you learn it, most people who learn it still will have a limit on how great they can totally be at it. There's a difference between being an entrepreneur and having entrepreneur tendencies. And I'm finding that a lot of people have entrepreneur tendencies, but they think they're entrepreneurs. And the problem is that they're not reaching their full potential in life, nor are they really helping people as much as they can. You get 100 people in a room and you ask them if they're entrepreneurs, or they say they want to be entrepreneurs. But if you really break down and then you look at the actions they take and their strengths and their weaknesses, over 50% or more of that group of people would be better fit if they were a part of a company where they can use their entrepreneurship tendencies and not necessarily they are the owner or the boss themselves. You have some people who say, I want to start my new app and I want to be the CEO of the next big Uber. If you know what it really takes to build some of these companies, many people do not have what it takes. And what I mean by that their strengths are not best suited to be that type of a boss. Many of them, they don't have the strength to go out and find employees and do the marketing and still being able to make sure they got the right accountant on the team, to make sure they got the right attorney on the team, to make sure that the attorney is handling the trademarks, the everyday administrative stuff, right? Sometimes that takes a different strength and skill set. Instead of you being the Mark Zuckerberg and creating the next Facebook, you might have been better if you were on Mark's team and that number 4 or 5 person who was working with Mark, and now you've made over $1 billion too. But you were using your strength working with the CEO. I am not telling people that it's okay to be an employee if you really don't want to be an employee. What I'm saying is that you need to know what your strengths are and be self-aware on what you are really good at, what you really enjoy doing, and go 100% hard on those things. And in some cases, when you leave your 9-to-5 job, you go into owning your own business. Now your problem you're facing is you own the job. It's like you own the job, because now instead of 9 to 5, now you're working 9 to 9, and now you're doing a lot of things you do not want to do. And that's a part of the grind. You have to learn what you like to do. So let's talk a little bit about what are your strengths. How do you know what your strengths are? Well, you'll know some of your strengths just by really getting evaluation from the people that are closest around you, as well as people that you've worked with in other projects with. Ask them, really, pull them to the side and be honest with them and say, hey, can you tell me, what do you think my strengths are? What do you think my weaknesses are? Write those things down and keep a record of it. Ask 10 different people. See what's common amongst all 10 of those people. I'm also a proponent of looking at your own numerology, looking at your own astrology. Some people, they disregard that stuff, but I think that is it has a huge significance if you can look at, your birth chart, the time you're born, and look at some of those tendencies that come along with your personality. Grow with your passion. I would recommend do an internship working with a major company that's doing what you want to do. And so I got a big internship when I was 21 years old, working with a studio called Pressure Point Recording Studios in Chicago in the South Loop. I interned there for about 2 years. Being there, I was able to learn what my strengths were and what things I really didn't want to do. That I probably would not have quicker access to it on that level if I was just out on my own trying to start a business on my own at 21. And then I also learned the business itself and seeing how to be able to service people on all areas of the business. And so I was able to determine quickly, hey, is this something that I would want to do on my own as a business, or is this something that I want to do maybe a part of it as a business? It's best to go out and get as much experience as you can doing the thing that you love, and you want to do it on the highest level if possible with people who have a lot of experience. So that's why I would recommend you do an internship, because you might want to be in a certain industry. You might think you want to do it in a certain way, but once you're in that industry, you might realize there's a different way to go about it. Entrepreneurship is a great thing, but you got to know that's the difference between the tendencies and being a full-fledged entrepreneur. When you're being a full-fledged entrepreneur, many times it's you putting your own money up. Let's be clear. You know, there's people that go and follow this big dream of, I'm going to find venture capitalists and we're going to find all these investors. Well, you have to be the first person to invest in yourself. Many times you might be investing over and over again. You're going to be constantly making flips. Flipping. Buying merchandise, buying product, buying inventory, investing in your education, investing in some type of employee, investing in a marketing online, investing in making content online to raise awareness for your brand. It's constantly going to be investing. And sometimes it might be better if you're going to be doing that investing to invest with a team of people and y'all are all executing different strengths and skill sets. You can go much further many times. And this is the last example that I'm going to give. And that's a hip-hop analogy, because I love hip-hop. And think about the Wu-Tang Clan. The Wu-Tang Clan, for those who don't know, is a music group that blew up really major in the early 90s. And you had about 9 dudes in this group. But before this group even became famous, the 9 dudes, most of them already had their own solo careers. Method Man, you had Raekwon, Ghostface, they was doing their own thing. But they didn't really have a large buzz by themselves. They decided to click up as a group, created an album together, and then they created much buzz than what they were doing individually. And then one person would get more buzz, and they said, well, we're going to push Method Man project first. Okay, now Raekwon, and so now that Method Man is hot, and now I'm gonna help you feed off of my buzz, and now Raekwon comes out with the second album. So now we create a big buzz with each other, and now we're eating and feeding off of each other's buzz. It's a great formula. Point is, sometimes you need a team if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, or even if not. And you don't always have to be the quote-unquote boss. You don't have to be the CEO. But if you're gonna have your own business, you can do it with a group of people. Y'all all using your own strengths and skill sets. So do that, eat on that, chew on that. Hey, this is just some advice I'm giving. You don't gotta take it, but you better go do something. I don't really care if you agree with me or not, but I do care if you go out and live your dream and do what you're supposed to do. So go out and do that, and I'm gonna do the same. It's your boy, your hustling homie, Jackson, all about making things happen. And I'll see you at the top.